Ever wondered what makes TV so powerful in Jamaica? Time to find out. Welcome to Global TV Group 358, where television meets innovation. We're not just about shows, we're about shaping society. In Jamaica, TV keeps you informed, connects diverse voices, and supports democracy. Imagine a Jamaica where broadcasters unite, sharing data and collaborating globally. That's us, a unified voice in the TV industry. Did you know TV advertising is still king? It drives website traffic, boosts brand equity, and powers integrated campaigns. Even in an age of digital, TV stands strong, resilient in tough times. Our global TV deck is your treasure trove of insights and data. With charts, graphs, and success stories, it's your guide to impactful TV advertising. Curious to learn more? Visit our website and see how Global TV Group 358 keeps television at the heart of entertainment in Jamaica. Get ready to binge watch the future.
Oh, thy peace, God of my salvation, because the mouth of the sinful and wicked is open. Rastafari. Come with I. Rastaman throw one stone, and it pick a bad feeling to all wicked men. That's a people there. Make him a throw and stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Only when man like Marcus Garvey speak, wicked men would I hear. Hear not hear. Instead of that, they only sit aside and rub and cheat, and not press the poor. Make up what I seen him. Make him a throw and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a plan! Make him a throw and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. So, my favorite man, if Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the them can sell out Rasta and sell it out. I sell out Babylon. They give man show and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. They give man show and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. If Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the dead can sell out Rasta. I sell out, I sell out Babylon. Yes, stop on the Friday. You might show and stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a black thing, man, show and stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. You have eyes to see, let him see. You have ears to hear, let them hear. What a prophet must say. President Mandela was in prison for 20 odd years. And he leave from the prison and take the seat of the president. Stone one. Big him and throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what's a black big him and throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Rastaman throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men.
The noise being made at home about the Prime Minister's dismal performance at the United Nations seemed to be getting under the Prime Minister's skin because the Prime Minister retweets Kamina Johnson's answer with a bit of fluff and said that was all right enough of a fluff or a drivel from Kamina Johnson Smith. But more and more Jamaicans are catching on to there is a problem. And there is a bigger problem looming when you see how Andrew Holness has bottled and how Andrew Holness on his own, while representing the people of Jamaica, through his support behind Israel, gave the green light to Donald Trump to carry on the criminality in the Caribbean. We're also going to look at the missing Jaden Smith this evening as well as we'll bring to the attention of the Minister of the National Works Agency the condition that our teachers and our children have to endure because of their lack of or do not much of. Good evening and welcome to Global TV. It is your people point of view. Thank you for joining us. Sorry about my absence this morning. I literally couldn't draw my spirit out of bed today all day, so I just lay down and yield to my spirit. I just literally couldn't draw myself out. So sorry about that. But nevertheless, we have arrived this evening. To my community of party and all my family members, platform moderators, membership holders, viewers, subscribers, commenters, and trolls, good evening. Welcome once again. Thank you all for joining us. Thanks for all your continuous support. Now, we have a few things to battle through this evening. Marcia Thomas, Debbie Jervis TV, good evening. Good evening. Charlotte Graham, good evening. Sharon Bernard, Barbara Simpson, JP, good evening. Real Sweet, Laura Morris, Norman Ferguson, Suzette Williams, Canadian Girl, good evening. Is it Gary Soley? Good evening. Carlene Richards, Sonia Savin, Daphne Jackson, Lawrence Michaels, Shauna Smith, Rennie Nicholson. Good evening, everyone. Arlene Scott, good evening. Good evening, everybody. TikTok, good evening and welcome. Thank you for being here. Debbie, Princess, is it Dewey? Nace, Charm, Dawn, Jenny, Max, is it Eileen, Money, Colin, Carol, Rev, Avi, Claudette, is it Baristine? Sorry about messing up your name. Secret, Pisby, Stanley, User, Michael, our president, Nikki, Henry. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for joining us. Now, Cecilia Burnett, Vivian Bennett, Cos, good evening and welcome. How are you? Opal, Pamela, rather, good evening. I am a vessel. Good evening, Delroy Henry. Debs, Impressed Deb, good evening and welcome. Vivian Wagwan, how you doing? Long time, you're good? Now, let's move firstly into the Jamar story, because we're going to have a long slot tonight on the Andrew Holness and Benjamin Netanyahu relationship. So let's deal with the issue of Jaden Smith, rather, and then we look at an issue depressing to a school, disturbing to a school, which we think the National Works Agency must deal with urgency. The story of this missing young boy kind of sound sometimes all over the place to me, but nevertheless.
As it relates to the sighting, so conclusively, based on who I spoke with, Jaden was seen along this Wesley Road area here last night. When they raised the alarm, he started to run. One of my staff workers at school saw him, and she said if she had gotten some help from one of the male persons that was on the road that was going in the other direction, they could have held on to him. But by the time they could have done anything, he disappeared somewhere in the area. So right now we have about 102 students and about 15 members of staff, and as you can see, there's a large contingent of police officers, maybe about 50 or so. I want to tell you the entire school population wanted to come out today, but the protocols that would have to engage with parents would not have allowed us to get everybody. But we believe the more the number of eyes that we can get on the road, the greater the possibilities. The positive we take from that is that he's alive. We are happy for that. And we think we're getting closer and closer to having a breakthrough. And so we're combing the area with a number of eyes, as we have said. And the expectation is that we will find him. We want to see him and grab him. And then we will take it from there because, you know, as you can imagine, the school community is quite uneasy. We're not so happy when one member suffers, the entire community feels it. You know, and the kind of outpouring, we had a prayer meeting this morning, you know, praying about the whole thing as a school community and then following up with the search. And we believe that we are nearing to getting a breakthrough in this matter.
All right, let me tell you what is confusing me here. If the sighting, if the information of the sighting is true, then there's a twofold question to ask. One, is it a child that have any form of mental or psychological challenges? And two, is there possible a problem of abuse or lack of discipline and all that could surround that is happening at home? But if this is true, then it's possibly not a child that has been kidnapped. We're just working on if it's true. Colleen James, good evening and welcome. Cheryl Allen, good evening. If it is true, I haven't heard anything from the mother, but if an aunt spoke today. I saw a video. Oh God, I forgot to download that video. I saw a video of the aunt today. Hold on, let me see if I find it back on TikTok. But there, based on this recent reporting, I'm a little bit questioning.
Police and citizens formed the Wesley.
Yeah, here.
Are saying because my son just told me something I might not with somebody said. It's just like persons supposed to understand when you're.
Let me go. Oh, let me bring up TikTok on the laptop. Hold on, please. Because I'm somewhat confused with regards to the reporting. Honestly, I won't lie about that. And I really, because I'm so confused, do not have much of an opinion but to ask questions. 1 second. 1 second. Let's see if I pull up this video. Where is the video? Which is on here. It is. Bear with my peeps. Bear with.
The
This was an
negativity that
interview with
persons
the
are sending,
Observer.
because my son just showed me something a while ago where somebody said that we beat him and bury him. It's just like persons supposed to understand when you're
Hello,
Sorry.
the negativity that persons are sending, because my son just showed me something a while ago where somebody said that we beat him and bury him. It's just like persons supposed to understand when you're grieving or you're under stress, don't try to say something to make the situation worse. You understand? I have Jaden for 7 years. 7 long years. I took Jaden when he was 5 years old. I was the one who got birth certificate for Jaden, got him fully immunized and everything. When we were preparing for Jaden, Jaden is also the top PEP student for Beth Arbor Primary School. He was even the valedictorian for Beth Arbor School graduation. And I did every preparation to get Jaden off of school, 100%. So why would I try to hurt him now because of a little incident? Accident do happen.
That incident or accident, could you just shed some light on that?
So on Thursday evening, maybe around 6:30, me and my grandson, who is Zaire Cook, 2 years old, is a United States citizen. So he came down just a month ago to be with us. And he had he have a cartoon with a little action cartoon on it where he jumps and he do the action. So he was there in the living room doing it with Jaden. I don't know exactly because I was in my bedroom. I don't know exactly what the intent of the movement was. But then in the room I hear Zaire scream out. So I rushed to the room only to find him on the ground, crouching his leg like this. So I pick him up, rush into the room, and then I realized that I can't move him. So I said, something is seriously wrong. I called my husband and said, okay, we're going to rush him to the hospital. I called Jaden. I said, Jaden, what happened? Jaden said he fell on his leg. I said, okay. I said, Jaden, you just have to be more careful when playing with the baby. That's all we said. All of us got ready and we went off to the hospital.
We're here at Manchester High School.
Yes.
A search party is being organized for him. What is the mood Jaden's family right now, and what are you expecting from the search?
Well, the mood for Jaden's family right now for us, it's a very sad moment. It's a very lonely moment. It's a very despairing moment. Everything that is upsetting right now, because Jaden is my twin brother's son. So you could know the bond that we had. Jaden is like a glue to me. Person would say sometimes, Jaden, why you not look at your auntie or give your auntie some space? He's just a loving child. He's a humble child. He's helpful. Words just can't explain how of a good child Jaden is. So I'm imploring to the community or the world in wide, anybody know of Jaden, where Jaden is. If you see Jaden, just bring him back home to us. We desperately need Jaden. We desperately need Jaden back home. Anything you can do, you hear something, you see something or anything, just reach out to us. People have been reaching out, but some have been very negative. Because I got 2 calls yesterday. I have to rush down to the hospital where somebody said he was down there with a head injury, unconscious. I rushed down there, nothing like that. Somebody called me Saturday night, said that they have Jaden down by Bottom KC. I went down there after calling the number, nobody answered the phone. And that's when it add to my distress. The negativity that persons are sending, because my son just...
Right. There are other questions tying both videos together. There are other questions that arises. Could Jaden be running away from discipline? Another broader, very broader, Randy. Good evening. Isilda, how you do? Judy, Mr. Cool and Deadly, Joan Bailey, Ludell Burns, everybody. Good evening. A much broader question, though. on a much serious note, Misty, could Jaden be kidnapped and we've been sent on a wild goose chase? Could these different sightings, could we be, as concerned people, be sent on a wild goose chase with these information that rather confuses me? But there are many questions tying the two video together. There are many questions arising out of them. I see a lot of people asking about the mother or the father. I haven't seen anything from them. As you heard from her, is her twin brother's son. But there are questions, Joan Pine, Janice Brown. There are questions, but I am confused based on the information of the sighting. If the sighting are true, what is he running away from? If the aunt explanation is true, then it sounds like there would be a loving, caring relationship at home. Has he blamed himself for what may happen to the other little baby and he's running away because of fear for discipline? It's just questions that you ask based on the different bits and pieces of the story. But it is very concerning. But I'm also thinking, could we be sent here on a wild goose chase? It's just natural to want to ask such question, given how, I mean, if they see him, especially the recent sighting of somebody who claimed to have work at the school, I'm kind of confused. Let's listen to this video again, because I'm kind of confused.
I spoke with Jaden was seen along this Wesley Road area here last night. When they raised the alarm, he started to run. One of my staff workers at school saw him, and she said that she had gotten some help from one of the male persons that was on the road that was going in the other direction. They could have held on to him, but by the time they could have done anything, he disappeared somewhere in the area. So right now we have about 102 students and about 15 members of staff, and as you can see, there's a large contingent of police officers, maybe about 50 or so. I want to tell you the entire school population wanted to come out today, but the protocols that would have to engage with parents would not have allowed us to get everybody. But we believe the more the number of eyes that we can get on the road, the greater the possibilities. The positive we take from that is that he's alive. We are happy for that. And we think we're getting closer and closer to having a breakthrough. And so we are combing the area with a number of eyes, as we have said. And the expectation is that we will find him. We want to see him and grab him. And then we will take it from there because, as you can imagine, the school community is quite uneasy. We're not so happy when one member suffers, the entire community feels it. And the kind of outpouring. We had a prayer meeting this morning, praying about the whole thing as a school community and then following up with the search. And we believe that we are nearing to getting a breakthrough in this matter.
All I'm left with when I listen these two sets of information put together, I am confused. Literally, I am confused. I don't know what much to say. to be honest. Instanani Wagwan. But let's move on to the state of education. Even when the noise is more about how their hair may look and how big or short, long or short their uniform. Beg your pardon, hold on.
Me live at Greenwich Farm. Yeah.
British Farm. Now, that's sewage treatment plant. How long it has been here?
Me live here for more than 40 years, and as long as me live here, I know it.
You know it?
Know it.
How it affect the communities, the surrounding communities, and the schools?
Well, it affects the community and the school by the smell of it. The smell of it. It make all the people vomit. Them have to go in at them house. It the respiration problem. Sometimes it make people can't breathe. People have to put on all them masks to the smell of it. And again, the dust again, you know. The dust in the dry road, you know, problem.
So most of the smell and
Most of the
school.
smell. Most of the smell.
Oh,
Tell me your name, please.
Oh, Lionel Davis.
sorry.
Lionel Davis.
Yeah.
Are you living in the community?
Me live at Greenwich Farm. Yeah.
British Farm. Now, that's sewage treatment plant. How long it has been here?
Me live here for
Call
more
this
than
time
40
I'm gonna
years, and as long as me live here, I know it.
And
You know it,
Matthew
How it
Samoda.
affect the communities, the surrounding communities, and the schools?
Well, it affects the community and the school by the smell of it. The smell of it. It make all the people vomit. Them have to go in at them house. It's the respiration problem. Sometimes it make people can't breathe. People have to put on all them masks to the smell.
Hold on. This problem has to do with National Works Agency, possibly Water Commission, who still comes under Matthew Samuda. So call Matthew Samuda, call Nesta Morgan, Andrew Holness, and the Mayor for Kingston and St. Andrew.
Like, and again, the dust again, you know. The dust in the dry road, you know, problem.
So most of the smell and
Most
the
of the
school.
smell. Most of the smell.
And it affect the schools
It
them
affect
badly.
the schools, or the school they right there's enough time teacher them have to cover up all them face. You know, them have to go away, yeah.
So why you take them?
Let me stop this to respond to Randy quickly. Where could he have gone so quick? Are they sure it was he who they saw? That's one of the other confusion as well. Because if it's a missing child is treated with priority. And you mean if somebody saw him, did they contact the police? Did the police came and combed the area? I am literally confused with this whole missing story. Very confused about it.
Should look, maybe put a chemical in it we can hold it down or what?
Well, if them could have do that, put a chemical in it, because same way a tank it over Portmore, they right at T-junction, and that's why it would just stink up the whole of Portmore.
Remember?
I mean, don't know where them do with it. They like them move it or so.
It move gas water.
All
It run
right.
gas water.
All right, it moves.
Otherwise, it can't move.
So it's not every day they smell like this? The
No,
smell?
sometimes the smell, depends on what they're drawing.
Okay.
Depends on what they're drawing.
So what are the different things with them draw? So?
Like, I've been anyway, so is them dry and things. And don't, I want to them the cold water,
Yeah.
everything. I just set down, the machine take roll it so tight, and they go straight at soap bird.
This so you can imagine when them having lunches.
When they're having lunches,
Mm-hmm.
when I'm having lunch, I'm talking about my experience. I have to cover the box and stuff sometimes, just like with the other teachers here. My name is Andrea Richards. I'm the acting principal of Greenwich Primary School.
Where's Greenwich Primary School? Where is it located?
It's at 82B Spanish Town Road.
Students, you yourself, parents and teachers have been grappling with this stench. How has that affected the students?
Well, it is affecting everyone, not just the students. Students, when teachers have to pause when they're teaching and the scent comes up, the stench comes up, so they have to pause what they're doing Sometimes they have to put their rags with some alcohol or something over their nostril.
Good evening,
The
night
students,
evening.
sometimes it's as if they are going to reach vomit because that's how bad it is at times. We have been grappling with this situation for a number of years, and media houses, everybody's aware, I think, of it, that is within the environs, and nobody has helped us. It's as if our cries are falling on deaf ears. The ministry is aware of it also, and we get no help. There have been teachers here who they came here healthy, and then they had to leave because over the years it has affected them. So we are down in numbers. There are parents who are saying that they, in terms of enrollment, enrollment of students. Not to say that this is the main factor, but it is one of the contributing factors which parents are saying in the they're not sending their children to school because of the stench.
What exactly is beside you there? What is causing the stench?
It's a sewage treatment plant where the trucks dump the sewage that they collect from around town. So it goes there on a daily basis. And primarily when the trucks are, what do you call it, letting out, I should say, the scent rises. They have been doing some work over there since up in the year, but this whatever work they're doing, it has not lessened the stench. At one point in about 2021, 2022, a gentleman came from NWC saying that they will be putting a chemical in it so that the stench would be lessened. But instead of lessening, it has gotten worse over the years. And since we have returned to school, it has been dangerously bad. If you could say that word.
Of course, you like them to deal with this and deal with it.
Yes. Yes, I would like this situation to be dealt with post-ACE because it's affecting us here. It's affecting our health. Maybe some of us will not be sick today, but in the long run, we will be sick. Some of us, not everybody.
What sort of feedback would have gotten from maybe students and parents alike?
Well, some parents, they talk about it. They ask us how we manage with it. There are some parents who, I know the community, one teacher told me that she knows of prospective parents who said they won't send their child here or their children here because of the stench. As I said before, it's not the main reason why they would send their children here, but that is one of the factors. So the children deal with it. It is affecting them. We have not seen any child or children being sick from it to say it is a contributing factor. But as I said before, down years to come, maybe it will affect these children. Children are very resilient and they are tough, but
how long
that
plant has been there?
Have been at Greenwich Fund from 1988, about 37 years, and it has been there.
So you came here and saw it?
Yes.
Because you came here 1988?
Yes.
And it was already in operation when you came here?
Yes, it was. But as I said, the stench wasn't that bad at that time. Mm-hmm. Over the years, it has gotten worse.
Oh my God. And of course, you're appealing for speedy resolution to the
problem, so that we can have a school where we can breathe in fresh air, because with that over there, the quality of the air isn't good, and we breathe it every day, every single day. So I'm asking whoever, the people in high places, please help us, or we really need the help here to remedy the situation.
So my name is Marlene Reed. I am the principal of the school. Caribbean Palms ECI.
How long has the school have been here?
Well, we have been here over 11 years.
And how long you have been?
Same amount of time.
Now, right beside you next door, is a sewage treatment plant.
Yes.
How has it affected the school or affecting the school?
It is affecting the school enormously because especially when the smell comes up, we have to be covered our nose, covered our mouth, telling the children not to talk, stuff like that. So they actually have gotten used to it. And it's really daunting at times to know that these children have to be experiencing this. And we have been told though that it would have been moved before this scheme was built. So even when we came in, because I'm a resident here as well, so we were told that it would have been removed, and we're here for years now and still nothing has been done about it.
How was it?
So it's more from failed promises. Because at one point I was wondering, why on earth, who built a school next to a sewage treatment plant? But they plan to move it. And successive government has done nothing about it. And this is the state that children are being educated in while we are being so troubled about their hair. No, what if we did upon TikTok, Simone? Me not see it. But me confused with Jamaica people where just choose sufferation. Because the people of Jamaica who sold themselves to this government or who allow this government to impose itself upon them did see the wickedness on YouTube. Hold on. Is there a particular channel on YouTube it's on? Let me quickly go to YouTube and type in Westmoreland lockup. Hold on. Hold on. Let me see if I see anything. Any case, if you can just forward the video to me. But the issue of the UN is haunting the Prime Minister. And I'll tell you why. Because he jump out now and he's also shoring up Kamina Johnson-Smith's answer. But it is quite a major issue that we all ought to be concerned about. Because if we don't concern about how a leader represent us or speak on behalf of us, then we can pack up and go on home. And there's a young man on TikTok who put together quite a good analysis of Andrew Holness' disgraceful behavior at the United Nations and the pending implication it is and could be for us. You don't want to Jamaica be in a position of the people in Palestine. And I tell you why you shouldn't want to get into that position. Don't think because we are Jamaica and the world knows about us and the world, quote unquote, loves us, the world is going to come to help us. Palestine should provide you an example that nobody will turn a blind eye at you. It is very good that more and more of us Jamaicans are catching on. I don't know how much us out here in Media Land, us chatterbox out here, can warn you enough of the pending dangers of Andrew Holness. Not only that, but the cozied up relationship. Sharon Johnson, how are you doing, my friend? You all right? The cozied up relationship with Andrew Holness and Benjamin Netanyahu ought to be concerned to you all. Let's listen. This young man put together well quite an analysis. Put aside your political mindset, your political bias, take off your religious hat, and try to be a human. Try to be Jamaican and look at the broader picture for the future. Don't just squeeze up in your political, tribal, religious nausea and whatever you want to squeeze up. Just access the information with a broader mind. We cannot live in this world, Jamaicans, and not understand how the system around us operates and how, wherever in this world things happen or things flare up, the effect it could have on us. So this is quite a bit of information, but I implore you to approach it with an open mind.
Jamaica, we in a trouble, you know. This not look good, you know. Jamaica, we in a trouble. This not look good at all. Now, have you seen the Andrew Holness UN speech? Have you seen that? If you haven't seen the Andrew Holness UN speech, every citizen of Jamaica, foreign and abroad, I need to go take a look on the Andrew Holness UN speech. United Nations speech, you know. Them used to call it the League of Nations. Now it is the United Nations speech. I want you to go watch the Andrew Holness United Nations speech. And let me be clear, this is me exercising my freedom of speech, my freedom of thought, and my right to my opinion. So everything that I'm going to say is alleged. Exercising my freedom of speech, my freedom of thought, and my right to my opinion. Now, I'm going to let you watch it. I have a small clipping. Pay attention.
Madam President, Jamaica once again condemns the heinous October 7, 2023 attack on Israel and is deeply horrified by the devastating humanitarian consequences of the counteroffensive in the Palestinian territories.
All right, let me deal with this in two parts. The Prime Minister condemns Hamas, but the Prime Minister is only appalled by Netanyahu's behavior. The Prime Minister condemns Hamas, but the Prime Minister is only appalled about Netanyahu's behavior. So the Prime Minister is saying, what Hamas did, it should not have happened. But what Netanyahu is doing, it's okay. It's maybe borderline going over the top, but it's okay, said Andrew Holness. Violet Watson, how are you? It is okay, says Andrew Holness.
A just and peaceful resolution to the conflict is only possible through diplomacy and dialogue. We continue to support United Nations Security Council Resolution 242 and support the call for a ceasefire agreement that includes the release of all remaining hostages and definitively ending the protracted war and human suffering. Madam President, political instability, gang violence, and humanitarian crises in Haiti.
As I continue to exercise my freedom of speech, my freedom of thought, and I write to my opinion. So, whenever a leader of any particular country is unable to criticize Israel, 100% of the time, it means that they are being funded by Israel. Now, every other leader in that UN conference condemned Israel's, activity in Palestine and calls it a genocide against Palestine. Every other leader, I'm going to play Mia Matley's speech shortly, and you compare the two. Every other leader that speak at that conference condemned Israel's activity in Gaza against Palestine and call it a genocide. Andrew Woolness, however, say him condemn the attack against Israel, the October 7, 2023 attack against Israel. And that attack against Israel is being investigated by the International Criminal Court. Mr. Bibi Netanyahu has been investigated by the International Criminal Court for corruption and for war and crimes against humanity. No, Andrew Woolness is unable to criticize Israel's activity in Gaza. Andrew Woolness is unable to call those activities a genocide, unlike me.
Oops, I forgot it was muted. I was responding to Suzette Williams. It is why we have to keep up with this conversation, because Andrew Holness, even though it's his personal decision to throw his weight behind Donald Trump, to criminality, to throw his weight behind Netanyahu genocide, he regularly draw all of us Jamaicans into it. Figure, why can't tell the whole of Palestine people say, we don't support them, we support the barbarity of Israel.
Unlike Mia Matley, unlike every other leader that spoke at that conference, Andrew Woolness is the only leader, is the only prime minister that says he condemns the activity against Israel. And Andrew Woolness did not speak about any sympathy, any empathy for the children in Gaza. Andrew Woolness did not extend any form of solidarity to the children suffering in Gaza because of the action against Israel. And yes, we need every hostage to be released, and we need a ceasefire. But what is going on currently, as we speak right now, I'm going to let Mia Matley explain it, and you compare and contrast the difference. And Jamaican people, I wanted to be wise. Be wise. This is Mia Matley speaking now. Take a listen.
Must not ignore the horror in Sudan. And of course, I don't need to remind you that it must not ignore the horror in Gaza. The genocidal destruction taking place in both places must now have our full attention. And as it relates to Gaza, yes, there must be a release of the hostages taken on October 7th. But we have now gone to a point where all of our human sensibilities are offended by the continuous and disproportionate attacks on the Palestinian people and the failure to allow access by the international community to the survivors for the provision of humanitarian aid. The survivors are entitled, my friends, to use the words of Bob Marley. How can you be sitting there telling me that you care, when every time I look around, the people suffer in the suffering in every way, in everywhere? My friends, it calls to mind the Roman historian Tacitus, who quoted a Scottish chieftain fighting against the military might of the Roman Empire. And I mention only the last two sentences. They plunder, they butcher, they ravish, they make it desert and call it peace. They make it desert and they call it peace. The real tragedy of war is that these children, when they become grandparents, will still be answering the innocent questions posed by their grandchildren 70, 80 years from now as to how they lost their limbs. Granny, how did you lose your leg? And when they answer, we run the risk that the violence and hate will be perpetuated for another 2 to 3 generations. This is not why we have come together. This is not good. And Madam President, it is happening under our watch. We can and we must do better to secure the peace across the world in the name of the children. And let me say that at the very least, the international community must immediately find the funding to support the children of Gaza and the children of Sudan for the next 3 months. UNICEF has said that in Gaza, it is $66 million that is needed for the next 3 months. And in Sudan, it is $200 million. The money is mostly nutrition related, to reverse or to mitigate famine for children, and to provide water and sanitation and health interventions. And we should note that there have been multiple disease outbreaks, including cholera. So, Madam President, to be very clear as I move on, a lasting peace can never be achieved through violence, not continued bombing. It can only be achieved through justice as our guide and dialogue, talking. And lest we forget, where others are seeking to build the peace and to preserve humanity in Gaza, as we saw, the international community must not condone the bombing of those states who look to facilitate peace. It is a red line that we must never cross. Madam President, I say simply again, another year, the world needs a reset. We must find first and foremost whether we still agree on the same values that inform our charter. As simple as this seems, this is necessary in any reset, for values we all know have changed over the last 80 years, and we cannot assume that it is business as usual. And if it is not available to all of us to agree to those values, then we must at least know who does and who doesn't. In addition to our inability to bring about peace in multiple conflicts, there really still are a number of issues that threaten our way of life and the stability of our planet.
No, you've heard me and Matley spoke, and I wanted to use the spiritual eyes and your spiritual ears and analyze, Pray to the Heavenly Father, mighty Yahweh, mighty Jehovah, mighty Jesus Christ, mighty Yahshua HaMashiach. Pray to him for interpretation. This is my takeaway from what I just saw and what I've just shown. My takeaway is that our government, Andrew Holness, is allegedly bought and paid for by Israel. Our government, Andrew Holness, is allegedly being funded by Israel. That is my opinion. And as I exercise freedom of speech, freedom of thought, and I write my opinion, I hope I'm not criminalized, sabotaged, or even executed. This is my opinion. And I have a right to my opinion as a living, breathing human who have a soul. I have a right to my opinion and thoughts. our government is being funded. Which points to note that what this is telling me is that we didn't even have an election the other day. We had a show election because there is no way there could be so many cases of election fraud and the opposition party concede so quickly. This tells me that Mark Golding is even a part of this. Mark Golding is a show opposition. He's not a true opposition. This tells me that Andrew Holness will never lose back another election in Jamaica, whether he loses by number or not, because the powers that be want him there. We're in a trouble in Jamaica. We're in a serious trouble, you know. This is not about PMP or JLP, you know. This is about Jamaican and Jamaican future, and about our sovereignty and about the welfare of our people and our children. If my assumptions, my alleged assumptions are true, we're in a trouble. We're in a deep, deep trouble. You know, I feel like Andrew Holness should be saying what Mia Matley said. She even made reference to Bob Marley. Yeah? Like, tell me if I'm wrong, people. Me don't know. Tell me if I'm wrong. This is a situation where I want to be wrong. I want to be wrong about this. Please. Like somebody, maybe.
No, for those who understand geopolitics, what this young man has just said about the government and the opposition in Jamaica being controlled by Zionism, it's not far-fetched. Two of the most powerful countries we learned of and know of in the Western Hemisphere is the Bulldog America, who their Congress is Zionist control through AIPAC. Both the Republican and the Democrat. That's why it's a uniparty. Whichever one is in power, you get pretty much of the same thing. Come over to the mothership, the belly of the beast in the United Kingdom here. The Zionists control the Conservatives. The Zionists controls the Labour Party. Everybody has to ponder to them. So his argument about Zionism controlling JLP and PNP in Jamaica is not far-fetched, because we are a licky down on our knees with our hands stretched out nation, unlike Britain and America, who stole their way to stardom. What would stop them from buying out or hungry for power, hungry to become millionaire politician, while Mossad gain secrets on them to keep them in their place? It's not far-fetched, you know.
Maybe I am demanding too much from my leader. Maybe then again I'm saying, maybe if he criticizes Israel, he may put his country in danger. But why is Mia Matley allowed to call the activity against Gaza a genocide, and our leader can barely, he must use some adjective, you know, some political adjectives to toy around the term, you know? He must use some adjectives. What you say? He say the counter effect of the counter terrorist attack, the counter humanitarian attack against Israel, which is leading to whatever. That is a whole bunch of nothing. That is a whole bunch of nothing. All he's saying is that he stands with Israel. So Jamaica stand with Israel. Jamaica, our country, stand with Israel. And I mean, nothing is wrong if Jamaica stand with Israel. But I think the people of Jamaica need to know that our government is being funded by Israel. We think there should be some form of transparency to show the relationship and the connection with our country or with our government and Israel. Then again, you don't want them kill me like Charlie Kirk, so I'm happy nice. This is the last thing I'm going to say. But I just want to see a round of applause for black woman. Like a round of applause for black woman. You know what I've observed in this era, in this time, is that black woman have more balls than black man. Black woman around the world, the Candice Owens, the Mia Motley, you name them. Black woman have more balls than black man in this era. Black man is afraid to stand up and speak the truth. He actually take a woman. He actually, brother, if God is not a woman, I don't know, me I tell you. Like, me just want to say a round of applause for a black woman. And I just want to say big up to every black woman because, you know, we get, like, them get the brute end where people actually deny what is a woman and what does it mean to be a woman, and a man feel like he can go do a surgery and actually become a woman and don't understand the biological pain, you know, the suffering it takes to actually be a woman, a true woman. Because look at this woman standing up before the world and speaking the truth, irregardless of the consequences. She's standing and speaking the truth. And some big pussy boy after tip.
Oops, Prime Minister. He said you are a big crutches man. Hey, lap your tail at the UN, you skettle.
Tour around a genocide. Some big pussy boy where nana balls of ya use some pretty words to cover themselves. Like, sometimes I wonder, and me I say to myself, say, yo, no wonder why them say so much paternity fraud in a Jamaica and around the world, because like most of these men are actually women, you know, and them not realizing it. Most of these men are like, them have a dick, but them not have no backbone. You see me? Them can't turn up and stand up for what's right and say, listen to me, if a life or death, me no business, me I turn up for what's right and me I talk the truth. I'm not afraid. I'm not gonna take away money. I'm not gonna take away life. Brother, life is a death sentence. Well away if you're dead. Life is a death sentence. You have to stand up for what's right. You stand up for, you stand for something or you fall for anything, my friend. And the only people I see a stand for, if something right now, a black woman, a stand up. Like, black men are so afraid and so cowardice. You actually take nanny of the maroons who left for years. Say, what? What you say them a do? Them a enslave my people and talk about Jesus come to take them guys and carry them guys foreign land and go enslave them. You are going. We're going to pretend like we are going. We are going to free with people. And then they come here and fight war and free people. A black woman. Since the beginning of time have more balls than black man. Why? Only a few black men can stand up. Stand up for what's right. The rest of them are coward. I kill off them when I need and I talk about them a gangster. And who forget the flame? Nah, get the flame, brother. I be an innocent people, me see. Big up to black woman. Big up to black woman. Enough respect and enough love. You see me? Like, we as black men, like, sometimes we are so irresponsible. Like, we have no attention to detail. Like, we don't follow through with nothing. You see me? We don't want to know the nuances and the details that even come with having a family. You want to have sex with a woman, you don't care if she eat, you don't care if she have clothes, if she have sanitary soap, if she have sanitary napkin, all of the needs or her needs. You're not trying to help her to meet. But you expect her to go above and beyond for you. And then now, when you say pick in a fear, you want to kill her. Brother, you never want man. You're irresponsible, brother. You're irresponsible. I mean, I justify a woman action, but somehow we're irresponsible, brother. And when we say we get jacket, brother, if you have sex with a woman one time, you don't try to help her in know I mean her responsibility. You don't try to make sure say emotionally, mentally, financially she's okay.
The bigger part coming out of this video, Andrew Holness, the man says you're like a big crutches boy. That's how you went to the UN and behave. He put it rightly. Because when man may come out and say you went to the UN with unbended knees to Netanyahu, with your hands stretched out to Donald Trump, where watch your Andrew Holness? And all the way done like you know. And all the way labor rights. A whole heap of way watch you. And all the way politically blind. But I am warning you, Jamaica. Don't get caught up in barbarity. A leader that is fostering relationship with a leader that is committing genocide live and camera should something that open your eyes, especially how you see police brutality agwan under Andrew Holness regime. The whole of Israel, 80 years or whatever of existence, they have been suppressing a nation. They have been suppressing a people. They have bombed them into smithereens. They have forced them on the bank of a river. They have forced them to a little patch on the seafront. That's the leader that your leader, Jamaica, is fostering relationship within your name, not in Andrew Holness' name, you know. Not in Andrew Holness' name, in you, the people of Jamaica name. You will not get nothing from Israel, whatever relationship, because I don't see what relationship Jamaica and Israel could have for Jamaica benefit out of it. Israel is an American proxy where depend on America for anything. But what Israel has done is learn how to blackmail, is love how to use soft money power to control government. Remember them say are the same Zionists. It's the same Zionist bankers who bankroll World War II. It's the same piece of bullshits that are at work today. Wake up, Jamaica. Danger surround us. Don't wait until you step into the mess. You realize that there's a mess there. You can see the mess before you get up to it, isn't it? We must keep our eye on this government. This government is not leading within our interests. This government deploy fear and suppression tactics on the people on a regular basis. We must be careful where this is going. Whether we gave him another 5 years or he stole it, defrauded, or impose himself on us, we have to hold him accountable every step of the way. Because the decision taken by the Prime Minister, the words spoken by the Prime Minister, ought to be in our interest and on our behalf, not on behalf of the Israeli people. Because the Prime Minister went to the UN just minding people business, while at the same time, him a whisper and a beg same time. The Prime Minister went to the United Nations promoting violence, a global war on gang. Turn up the things and the Haiti gang them. But this is the same country that the Minister of National Security cannot even speak to the Americans because of his gun gang and drugs running. The same Prime Minister goes to the United Nations bawling, wolf, about climate change. This Prime Minister is a serial environmental breacher. Don't wait until you get into the danger you try to do something about it. If you don't realize by now that there's a danger attached to Andrew Holness' leadership for our country, it's going to be devastating when you wake up right in the middle of it. There's a reason for Andrew Holness' police brutality. The young people in any nation are the ones who generally rises to the occasion when there is a pushback on government overreach or government lack of and failure. There is a reason for the suppression. There is a reason for the brutality. Don't wake up in the middle of what might get too dangerous by the time you wake up. That's why we are force feeding every day for now. Wake up. There are dangers lurking around us. We have a self-interest, self-serving, money-grabbing government, corrupt to the core, one that has contempt for every class in Jamaica. Don't wake up when it gets too late. Even when the government talk about in good economy and this and that, on a yearly basis, there are money that the government can spend to make things a little better for you, to let you enjoy some of the services that they have been promising us to look after for the last 50 years. Let Julian explain to you of the recent report that came out.
Based on a release from the Independent Fiscal Commission, the government has only spent 20 of the $40 billion that was projected for the capital budget for the first quarter of this fiscal year. This represents a worrying trend where there is chronic underinvestment of our capital budget. For the last fiscal year, for 24-25, the government underspent the capital budget by 19 billion. For the previous fiscal year, for 23-24, it underspent the capital budget by 9 billion. Jamaica projects to have only 1% growth each year for the next 4 fiscal years. And the major reason, a big part of the reason for this, is that we cannot spend the capital budget which has been allocated in each budget cycle. The government needs to move with alacrity to address the bottlenecks and the problems that are preventing it from spending the capital budget. Whether these be procurement issues or public management investment issues, whatever they are, they must be addressed, or else we will not be able to move to 3, 4, 5% growth, which is necessary to lift the living standards of the Jamaican people and to generate the tax revenues to provide the social services that are necessary.
That's why Andrew Holness government can grow the economy more than 1% from the time they did it. Because when you hear them say, yeah man, Andrew Holness do a lot of things, Andrew Holness is not building the economy for poor people. Look how Andrew cheat with nightlife, where poor people make money out of. Look how Andrew cheat vendors across the country. Look how they mash up with craft market them. Look how them prevent we from go pan with beach go tap into the tourist dollars. Look how they mash up with raft them pan White River and such like and such a fort. Look how them black with access to Blue Lagoon. I hope I seen thing Andrew Holness them the way, you know. A whole heap of thing them do to we. Andrew Holness has stifled poor people living, poor people's bread under him curfew, him Zozo, and him SOEs. Community have to lock down early, corner shop have to lock down early. No little party can keep again, no little round robin can keep again. Even set up them a turn off early, so when people got set up, go sell. Thank you, Synergy. When people got set up, go sell. They can't even get to make a money. So when you hear Andrew, when them walk and talk about Andrew Holness, and the oldness a bill uno out. Because even the NHT host them, that's why them ask diasporans to come invest and buy property in Jamaica, because they not build them for uno. They not build them for NHT contributors. Can't afford them. That's why Andrew with the big teeth in mansion at Beverly Hills and a big thief in mansion at St. Lucia and the hope of other property development can tell you no say two of it put together and buy one bedroom property. And one on live in a living room and one on live in the bedroom. Because he's not building for you. He's not spending Jamaica money so it benefit. Remember he told us in St. Thomas last year, we have spent 6 years focusing on the macroeconomy. And now that we get the macroeconomy right, we heard what your concerns are, he said. We know you're concerned about your roads and your water and your local services and do it, blah, 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 blah. Has he delivered? He still promised you just August gone that we're on the road to prosperity. When you get there, let me know about it. And let me know what went on when you get to the end of the road that this Prime Minister has had us on for the last 10 years. The Prime Minister, how we on the road to prosperity for the last 10 years. Anybody that on the road with the Prime Minister want to get there, share with us. Make we know what more than reach there. Our leader, who has never worked a day in his life, but is one of Jamaica's top billionaire with property development portfolios, business here and there, businesses getting contract from the government, which Andrew Holness himself operates. And when you have bridge like Troy Bridge from 2021, will collapse, and 19 billion weren't spent last year. 19 whole billion. And Troy Bridge have been collapsed since 2021, where people have to swing pan rope and crate and walk pan board and bamboo to get across the river. But Mr. Morgan said they are 96% complete. But we never get the use of them. It took this government over 2 years before they gave the people of Troy a footbridge to go over. More than 2 years. This is the government run by Andrew Holness. The same thief in Dalrymple were responsible for advocate for Troy Bridge. Remember, Andrew Holness sent Dalrymple an interdiction with pay. Jaffex Mufaya, so move from here, so because the whole on knows that a lot of these function where the Labour Party do and where the government where they set up lighting and stage, Andrew Holness, what the company name, the one where do the media go along and other one they get it. You know this the swindle and the whining where Andrew got through for getting company contract. You know said that was one of the issues come out of the Integrity Commission report where charge did lay against him in a 2022. You know labor right to thief and dunce and lie and fool and backwards. A time for no pick up book and read. You can't continue to go to the world done so. You can't continue to go to the world, be slave to Andrew Holness, who's a slave to Donald, who's a puppet to Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu. Holness a fool. We're going to the world creeping and we need, and I'm not very happy about it. We have a prime minister who just go up on the United Nations stage, go kneel down and kiss Benjamin Netanyahu's shoes, and you're proud of it? And that you know what we accept as the country who was one of the most staunch country in the Western world when it comes to the fight against apartheid. Jamaica and Cuba was two of the big leaders in the fight against apartheid. And you mean to say Andrew Holness about apartheid and not come out with platform and chat foolishness? We don't know say Andrew enrich himself out of the public purse. We don't know say Andrew under investigation for financial crimes of the public. And you come here and ask me nonsense, you dunce, man. Man we fail Jamal school. You come here and ask me the idiotness. But then again, if you fail Jamal, you generally would ask idiotness, isn't it? It's naturally what Jamal failures do, don't they? Fool like duck. Fool like duck. Someone any day on a head pull out a Andrew rear end and a manage to see the light, you're all going to be shaken. You're all going to be shaken the day your head is pulled from this crooked criminal of a prime minister, this corrupt crook. The prime minister is a corrupt crook. He would dare to sue someone for calling him that. Because we would subpoena the report as evidence, Prime Minister.
The police are again.
Andrew Holness, I've only enough fear, you know. But Andrew Holness can only kill me. And if they use more than one bullet, then they are quite a useless shooter. So if Andrew Holness and him blind shooting police, then we even shoot pan upstairs wall when brown man downstairs in the building a shoot after them. Them depend them belly a shoot up in the ear. Unless he send a useless shooter, them not supposed to use more than one bullet. A one bullet for kill me. Me now got to talk. Because until, as long as them keep fooling we, say we live in a democracy, then they go talk. As long as they continue to fool me, say we have human rights involving free speech and freedom of conscience, thought, and religion, or all of the bullshit that they fool us about, I am going to continue to talk. There's a reason why mouth never cut straight way like behind wall, which many on the labor right mouth should have cut in the behind direction. Because maybe we wouldn't chat so much fuck, you know, that just let out hot air and move on. But just because on the mouth cut cross way, labor rights. Just because and say on the mouth cut cross way, when you use it. And never that mouth for. Mouth never just make for source of talk stupidness. Like what no do. Mouth never just make for be puppet for Andrew Holness. Mouth never just make to protect Andrew Holness criminality. You can say something which is in your interest, something which is in the interest of your nation, something which is in the interest of your children and grandchildren. Also, Andrew is a mist. Why everything phone about Andrew? When you know say Andrew and him pick them rich. You know say Andrew and him picking them in a property development and own shares in a company before them become adult. Why on so Andrew focus? You Androcentric dunce. Everything gonna make it about Andrew. If Andrew don't want we call his name, it is very simple. Resign with immediate effect. Then we can talk upon the new person we take over from him. Most we are going to say about him, Andrew wholeness full in craw and in tip off left way. What else you expect we say? On a two Androcentric man. Focus on how the country is being run. Focus on how whether or not your life has been improved, whether your community has been improved, whether your hospitals or your schools have been improved, whether the road or the water that we have been voting for 50 years has been delivered to us. Why not can't focus? Why can't you all focus? Why not so androcentric? When anything is Andrew, tell Andrew to resign if we don't want to call his name. Tell Andrew if one of the one we call Andrew name, go and encourage him to resign. Or even better yet, return the stolen goods. Return, because that's our biggest problem, you know. Return the stolen goods, Prime Minister. That which you cannot provide proof to the Integrity Commission where it come from. And because it was say, we know say you know do anything barring politics, then you have to come out of the access to the money where you have in our public purse. And also you think you go, resign or return the stolen goods. And we come on for the Prime Minister back. We no can't have it the Donald Trump way, where Donald Trump send a deal to Hamas and say sign it. In 3 days, in 3 or 4 days, sign it. But this deal does not include you. You don't have a say in it. You just have to take order from us. Let me tell you something about Donald Trump that you must recognize. And where you must not take too serious either. And everything Donald Trump so if you take serious, you know. Donald Trump is a headliner. Donald Trump is about controlling the headline. Donald Trump is about seeing himself splashed around on the papers and on the TV screen, and he controls the headline for the day. That is Donald Trump's main activity in any waking day for Donald Trump. It's his waking activity. What we should all do, even though we want him to continue to pull down America, stay steady until the other 3 year and brew over, because Donald Trump is not Andrew Holness. We're going to come again. When this 4 year done, that's it with him. Whatever direction America wants to take, America, in my view, has never been on a good direction over the last 80 years. That's my opinion. That's why China passed them up. That's why Russia has re-emerged on the stage and is causing them a lot of havoc. Because America has wasted her time passing in people business, buying and selling battery, overthrowing governments and tell people how to live their life and run their country. And China has sat quietly, very quietly, and passed America lagging behind. America is playing catch up when America is borrowing from China. What sort of nonsense is that, America? What can go so? You're talking big, but you have to borrow and trust to keep yourself going. What can go so, America? Hmm? That's why you don't feel listen to the headline where Donald Trump get up and grab a man in time. That is what Donald Trump do. Donald Trump wants to be in the headline. Let him stay there. Don't raise on the blood pressure of everything Donald Trump do. And most of what Donald Trump does is laughable. Hmm? If you don't want to have high blood pressure, it's laughable. He just wants to be in the headline. Anything he has to say to get in the headline and stay there, that's what his main presidential role is. So you don't get too worked up about Donald Trump. If you notice him zigzag for evening tariff war, they're not stable. Don't mind the poor old man. You've never worked in a care home before? Hmm? Have you never worked in a care home before? Hmm? Only if you work in a care home. Because every care home you've worked in, you have one very roady, outlaw, outlandish old person in that home where not take no talk for nobody, they are a law unto themselves. You've never worked in a care home before? So you never interact with Donald Trump before? I mean, I've come across many Donald Trumps. So don't make Donald Trump raise on the blood pressure. Donald Trump want the headline, make him take 4 years of headline. Might never know, he might end up in prison. If he could get Andrew Holness to be his cellmate, that would be a very good thing, mind you. The moral of the story, though, we must wake up to world affairs. A long time Jamaica has been lagging behind on the broader populace when it comes to world affairs. Given the advance in internet and social media and information gathering and sharing, you would have thought that Jamaicans would have catch up. We look like we are turned down, Sarah. In an information age where it's at your fingertip, in the palms of your hand, we seem to be getting done, sir, because we chose Jamaica for 700 million. Have you not heard of that? We chose Jamaica for $700 million per year. Yes, I saw it go. If I not suddenly explain it to you, that's what chose Jamaica mean. It costs $700 million for the year. So you see, don't take long to get rich in politics. Just need to buy a few votes and tip over the first past the post line, and pops, you're up to daisy. You become a multimillionaire overnight, doing fuck all. What does MP do? What the hell in our country does MP do? Some of them barely even turn up to parliament. Some of them, you never see them until they're coming back for the campaign. Some of them, you never get any service from their offices. They literally do F all, if you ask me. Because if they were doing something, we, the people, would have gotten something. We could have shown something that they have done. We're waiting. We are waiting. But while we wait, the important thing is for us to wake up and pay attention. Our docility is petrol for Andrew Holness. Our docileness, our backwardsness, the cronyism and the head up the arse labor rights are a petrol for Andrew Holness, dictatorship and barbarity. uniting against Andrew Holness as Jamaicans is becoming more and more a necessary idea to contemplate. Thank you for being here with us this evening on Global TV. Lovely to have your support as always. If you're new to the program, please give us a follow. So when we go live, you'll get our notification. And please remember to hit the like button if you have not done so yet. And please do join us right back here tomorrow morning for your At a Glance program. Thank you very much and good night from Global TV.
Oh, thy peace, God of my salvation, because the mouth of the sinful and wicked is open. Rastafari. Come with I. Rastaman throw one stone and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. That's a people day. Make a man throw one stone and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Only when man like Marcus Garvey speak, wicked men would I hear. Hear not hear. Instead of that, they only sit aside and rub and cheat and not press the poor. Make up what I seen to. Make a man throw one stone and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a plan. Make a man throw one stone and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. My favorite man, if Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the day them can sell out Rasta and sell it out and sell out Babylon. Big man throw one stone and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Big man throw one stone and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. If Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the dead can sell out Rasta and sell out, I sell out Babylon. Yes, talk on the Friday. You might throw a stone and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a black thing, man, throw one stone and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. You have eyes to see, let him see. You have ears to hear, let them hear. What a prophet must say. President Mandela was in prison for 20 odd years. And he leave from the prison and take the seat of the president. Stone one. Big man throw one stone and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a black big man throw one stone and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Rasta man throw one stone and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men.
If you don't like missing out on the latest shows but still enjoy classic hits, then Global TV Group 358 is your perfect match. Global TV Group 358 isn't just another channel, it's your ultimate TV experience. From breaking news to binge-worthy dramas and timeless classics, we've got it all. Our unique blend of original content and global favorites means there's something for everyone. And guess what? With GTVG's seamless streaming, you can watch anywhere, anytime. Plus, our interactive features let you be part of the action. So, whether you're a seasoned binge watcher or a casual viewer, Global TV Group 358 is here to keep you entertained day and night. Don't just watch TV, experience it with Global TV Group 358. Subscribe now and never miss a moment.